Hello everyone, Siri Emerald here, and this will be an unboxing video of the Marvel Studios Iron Man 2 Mark V 1/6 scale collectible limited edition collectible figurine movie masterpiece series from Hot Toys. This figure has been out for a few years. It's no longer available directly from the manufacturer. It's only available through third parties, and this is a collector's edition, MMS 145. And on the back here we see a couple of examples of the armor, and on the bottom it says warning, choking hazard. We can get this to focus in here. Get that glare out of there. It says ages 15 and up, not for children 3 years and younger. This is really reflective, this box is. And here we have the 2011 copyright on there. Marvel and Hot Toys, Toy Hunters, Hot Toys Limited. Movie Masterpiece Series, Iron Man 2, Mark V, made in China. And they did a really good job of with this reflectiveness, too good of a job almost. So no, this is not the die cast, this is the original piece that came out a handful of years ago. And on the top here it says Iron Man 2, Marvel Studios Iron Man 2. And on the bottom it says the same thing. This is a sleeve box, so we just slide it off like that, revealing the shadow box of the figure inside there. And if you remember correctly, this is the figure that we see in the beginning of Iron Man 2 that he actually puts on from a suitcase, or actually it's an attache case that Happy, his bodyguard, is carrying around for him. And you see, it's really the first time that Iron Man is trying to make Tony Stark is trying to make a suit that he can bring with him. So it's the Iron Man Mark V. Let's get her out of the box here. I love these little shadow boxes. So packaging's done a little bit differently. 2 layers here, actually 3 when you count the little briefcase and the display stands. So we have 2 different display stands. We have this one, which is a light up with 3 AAA batteries to resemble his stand that he had, or his display case that he has in the garage. Now on these, the batteries are never included with any of the bases, so we'll have to put some batteries in there. And just unscrew that and put your AAA batteries inside of that. So we'll set you right there. It also comes with the traditional posing stand with the Mark V on it right there. And the bottom are the copyright information again. And we'll place you over here. Then this piece is the one that snaps into there. If you decide you want to pose them with that, you just do so. Or if you wanted to use the other stand, you would use this pole here, which would, there's one end is sealed and one end is not. So you would put the not sealed end, the opened end, into the hole, and it just pushes in. I like to give it a little twist. And for those stands, don't have the back support. It's because the lobster claw is a lot closer to the stand than the others are. They're further back. So in order to get the character to pose properly on this stand, the lobster claw has to be closer to the pole. So you can adjust this to the position that you want on it. It slides up and down, and when you get it to where you want it, you would just tighten that bolt into that nut and to hold it into place so you can display it with that manner. Bought this off eBay, and he's included some batteries here, it looks like. This little case right here. I wonder if these open. We have to check out the instruction manual. I don't believe that it does. It'd be cool if it did. Sounds like it might. Doesn't appear that it does. It'd be cool if it was not only a case, but also an actual suitcase. A little blurb on there, a little scratch on that. So let's have a look at the instruction manual. One simple page, and nothing on there about the case, so I'm assuming it does not open. So the light up micro arc reactor uses the AG10. I'm trying to remember if that's the same ones as the other ones. Is it? Is it a different battery? And it actually goes in his back like the others do. Interchangeable chest piece, and looks like a little piece underneath his chest piece on his abdomen is also interchangeable. It's saying that looks like you slide that down to get that one off, instead of just pulling it straight out. And here it's showing that you can extend the waist by pulling up the upper body slightly to allow him to move more, and that the parts on the waist with a movable limitation, which could be damaged if inappropriately twisted and bent with excessive forces and drive damage, will not be considered as product defect, and hence replacement will not be provided. And let's see, the neck is where the light up head sculpt is lit up from, and interchangeable battle damaged left hand. It's actually the whole left arm. And take out the left, it says hand from the figure. It'd actually be at the shoulder. Insert the battle damaged left arm into the figure as shown. And the repulsor palms looks like they're in his biceps there. AG1 batteries. And arm movement, raise the arm sideways before turning it forward, otherwise it may cause damage and paint fading on the chest armor. Alright, so here's the figure. And he only comes with one set of interchangeable hands. And then he has a battle damaged repulsor hand and a battle damaged relaxed hand. And he has fists here. It looks like nothing here is articulated. This could be interesting. There's little handcuffs up here. A battle damaged chest piece there. A battle damaged abdomen. Okay, so evidently there is a problem with these joints. They said it's an inherent problem with the knees on this guy, and sure enough, his knees don't want to stay necessarily where they're supposed to. So he's got weak knees. It's okay. We're going to have him posed. He won't be needing to stand up on his knees. Let's see if that does affect, however, his ability to stand on his own. No, he is standing on his own. He's not leaned up against the case. I don't ever recommend just standing them up like that all by themselves, but just because the knees are weak doesn't mean he can't be stood or posed or played with and enjoyed. The neat thing about this figure is its uniqueness. He is a unique piece. There's no other armor that resembles this at all. One thing I always found very interesting, though, was why the Mark V was more silver than the Mark 33. That literally made zero sense to me. I mean, it makes no sense whatsoever. I find it interesting also that they didn't include a sculpted head with this. Obviously, we see him in the suit. It seems to be the way of determining which ones get the sculpted head and which ones don't, as to whether or not we actually see Tony in the suit. And he definitely wore this suit, no doubt about it. That's where the battery goes. And that's the on-off switch for the repulsor hands. We have also the rubber in the elbow joints. So you want to make sure when you're posing this piece to take into consideration that that's a bendable piece of rubber. I've heard that the rubbers seem to wear out with time. So take that into consideration as well. A little wrist gauntlet here. Looks like it moves up and out of the way so that you can use it for the repulsor hands as well. This one feels a little stiff. The soft rubber on they call these the panties, on his pelvis region. They tend to fade out. And you can see just a little bit of paint discoloration, differentiation there between those two. The thigh rotates separately of the hip, I believe. Let's see. No, it does not. Looks like it should. Some of the other pieces, they normally rotate right there, but this one does not rotate independently of the hip. Of course, the hip does rotate, but sometimes that thigh piece will move as well. And we already looked at this. So you have double joints there, which gives them a great range of motion. And his little feeties down here, his little toe goes up and down, and the foot moves side to side, up and down. A little piece clips up out of the way for his foot. This guy needs some TLC. You have to give him a good little blowing off of the canned air. Little tape mark down there. That's the bad thing about not getting these as first run. You never really know what you're going to get involved in. Of course, that's where the piece comes out to put the batteries in for the chest, and the on-off switch for that is right there. Still has the plastic in here. I wonder why. I guarantee you that the batteries are not in it. It might be. Oh, look at that. There they are. So we'll set you right here. Get the rest of you out of the box. This is the battle damaged left arm, and it's pretty battle damaged. I mean, Whiplash really put the hurt on him there at Monaco. One thing I found interesting in the movie was every time he went to charge up his weapon before he had a chance to discharge it, Whiplash would hit him with his whip. Now, this is light upable. You can put the other hand on there if you want. It's a clean hand. It's not battle damaged, or a fist if you wish. It does come off. And this is a big difference compared to the other arm. It does have a place for batteries. It does turn on and off. And all you do is, now when you lift these arms, these shoulders, by the way, they recommend you to be careful of these pieces. You don't want to scratch it all up. But it just pops off, and the new one just pops right into that little ball joint right there. We're just going to shove that in there like so. So that would be the battle damage piece there. And we have a battle damage chest piece right there. So looking at this, it appears that it goes in this manner. So if we can pry this off, they give you a little pry bar. I just pull it off with my fingers. Most time they come off quite easily. Just little snaps on the ends. This is where this one holds in. Little placers right there. So we can, oh, and this little piece here, it says it slides down and off. So we can replace those if you desire him to be battle damaged. Here's that piece. And it goes with the little notch in the up position. So we would just slide it on. I'm trying to think what this is called, a little post, a little knob. Just knock in that little hole. So we'll just bring it down and slide it up. See if we can get it to cooperate here. There we go. Not too difficult. And then just snap that on there like such. And there we have it. He is battle damaged. This is the repulsor hand for this battle damaged arm. So you can take off the relaxed or grasping hand and replace it with the repulsor hand. There you are. Get that one there. Let's see this. There we are. Trying to get him into a pose. Move that shoulder a little bit more. There we are. Seems to be about the best we can get that repulsor at. I've seen some artists that have really battle damaged these guys, especially this one. And I now see why they felt it was necessary to do that. He's not very battle damaged at this point. His left arm, his chest is really gone through the mill. Whiplash really put the hurt on him. If you remember, I had him to his knees, and it was a big mess. And he's obviously still very good condition right here. So I now see why some of the artists have chosen to battle damage their pieces more than this. It's a great piece. I'm glad to have him in my collection. Part of the original 7. It was Tony's attempt to have a suit that he could have with him anywhere. And it did just that, because he was literally being destroyed while he was racing that car at Monaco, where Whiplash came and got him. So these are articulated hands. I wasn't sure if they would be or not, but they are definitely articulated hands. We have the two fists that come with him, and then we have 2 articulated hands. So let's try putting this articulated hand on here. You don't really get a necessarily repulsor position with that. But I can say, looking at the style of this hand, that as long as the colors match up well enough, it would be interchangeable with the Mark IV, the Mark VII, Mark III, I believe. These hands, for the most part, I have to check that little notch. You can put the repulsor hand on there if you wanted to pose for that purposes. And so that's good. The gauntlet does move up out of the way, so you can put a repulsor hand on there. But this hand, you really can't get into the repulsor position. It's not a repulsor hand. They don't give you repulsor hands with this figure. And that's cool, whatever. At this point, if this is your only figure, then it would be a problem. But if you have other figures, you can interchange it. I like how they put the little notches there. That's pretty cool. Interesting. I think that's the only one I noticed that has that. So you have the 2 articulated fingers. Of course, they can be put into any position. Well, not any position. They can be put into multiple positions. You can give the I love you, or the Spider-Man at the whip. Right there. You can do the peace sign. Like that. You can do the OK sign. Like that. Be seeing you. And handcuffs. Do open and close. You feel a little ratchet in there as it winds up, so that you don't have a problem putting it into a specific position. And this feels like it's metal. The cuffs are plastic. This definitely feels like it's metal. So you could then put this on through the handle, latch it up, and put the other one on your... Oh, we don't have one of those figures, do we? Hot Toys. When are you going to give us happy? When are you going to make us happy and make us a happy? We need a happy. Iron Man needs a bodyguard. He needs to be able to carry his little attache around. What good is it without it? Sheesh. Well, he finally made the Maria Hill character. So maybe happy's coming. So there it is. Iron Man Mark V. Portable armor, if you will. Because it fits right into that little attache case right there. Leave your comments in the section below. Thanks for watching. Follow me on Facebook at Siri.emerald and at Twitter at SiriEmerald. Subscribe to my channel, like my videos. Give me a thumbs up. See you in the next video. Happy collecting.